And I'll be sitting there and I'll think, now what can I do with this? And then I suddenly twig, hang on a minute, I can do this with this and that with that. And that's, even at home, if I have a product, I can create by putting 2 or 3 things together and just adding an ingredient and voila.
This is The Producers. I'm Dani Valent. Emelia Prendergast is known as the Queen of Conserves. Under her, the Saucy Australian brand, she produces and sells a vast range of 54 condiments, from the familiar, tomato sauce, applesauce, to the quirky. One is called Sweet Serendipity, another is a Crustacean dressing. No matter what, they all have Emelia's secret ingredient. I wonder if she'll tell us what it is.
I am Emelia Prendergast from Emelia's the Saucy Australian, and we're located in historical Kyneton, which has become a real foodie hub. We've been in the area for nearly 25 years and we've grown with the town, so we're quite unique in everything we do. This is the second National Australian Fine Food Award I've won, and I'm now up to 25 medals, half of which are all gold for our products. And we pride ourselves in the fact that we're not in Coles and Woolworths. We're literally, Dani, behind all small business Australia-wide. My husband and I spent 5 years on the road getting to know our clientele on a personal basis, which we did, and we have nearly 2,000 outlets Australia-wide. We make a unique array of all natural condiments, sauces, relishes and chutneys, and we're Australia's #1 pickle onion producer. All our onions and fruit and veg that I used is sourced locally, so it's all Australian, even as far as our chilies go. I only buy my chilies from Oz Chili up in Bundaberg, and they're quite unique. And as I say, every ingredient that goes into the making of our sauces and relishes is first grade, and we don't use anything with blemishes or fruit that's slightly of age or that. Everything we use is totally fresh and natural, and we've got the finest of vinegars and oils that we use in all our cooking. My main secret ingredient, and I can't mention that, does go into all our products, and it's quite unique. I've been able to create something that I know no one else is doing, and it's quite unique in flavour. We've just won gold for the second time running for our beautiful Epicurean salad, which is made with a collation of 18 vegetables, which I'm able to put into the finest of oils and vinegars after sort of blanching it for a short time. And they literally remain crisp until the end of the jar, and so do our pickled onions. So we take great pride in that we've been able to perfect a process where it stays appealing to the customer at all times.
Emelia and her husband Ron lost everything in the 1995 recession, and it was from rock bottom that their condiments business began. How did adversity spur her to creation?
I grew up in Sydney. I was born in Australia, but my parents are of European heritage. And I always turned to cooking. I loved cooking, but I only hit the marks back in 1995 when we went through the recession that we had to have, and my husband and I lost everything that we'd worked all our lives for. So it was very hard to go back to basics after such a long time of prosperity. And we literally started this off through adversity. And I literally did start it off in the garage, in the kitchen. And we had some difficult times, and but I feel now that we're prospering and we've prospered to come 25 years down the track and be a success story as I think we are. And but more importantly than that, to have stayed together for so many years. I mean, Ron and I have been married 57 years, and we've worked together through all those years to achieve what we've done with Emelia's. And I think that's why, look, we're flourishing at the moment. We're very fortunate. We're busy. And the reason I feel we're busy is because people are now taking cooking back to basics. They're all cooking at home again, cooking around the family table, because in this economic climate, they just haven't got the money that they once had where they can go out and have a splurge. So I think because all of our suppliers carry my products, they in turn sell their meat, their fruit, their vegetables. Hence, we combine a beautiful act, because at the end of the day, it's back to basics and everybody's cooking at home and doing it really well. And I think that's going to go on, Dani and Rob, for quite a while until things settle, and I can't see them settling for a wee while yet.
When launching a business, many people would start with a familiar item, something people could latch onto straight away. Not Emelia. She talks about the creative process and how she got started.
The first product I ever made was our gold medal winner, which was Sweet Serendipity. Now, serendipitous, you would know, is something you fall on by chance. And it was just something that I had tried, and I thought, look, I can master this. I can make this better than what I'm tasting. And hence, Sweet Serendipity was born. Sweet Serendipity is honey. I've made it with honey, raspberry, dates, and a hint of soy, but it's a really beautiful sweet, like a sweet chili sauce. But it's very authentic, because when you try it, it's totally natural. Totally natural. And every product I make is gluten-free, including our pickled onions and our Worcestershire sauce. And I think once you tried Sweet Serendipity, its versatility is amazing, because you can use it in stir-fries, you can use it in casseroles, you can use it as a barbecue, you can use it as a marinade. Its uses are huge. So it's really quite a very, very versatile sauce. We used to do a lot of shows and things like that. And a friend of mine entered Sweet Serendipity in a Fine Food Award, and that took our gold 5 years in a row. And after that, because having gone broke, we had to sell everything we literally owned. And we went into a cafe, and in the cafe I started making all the other different relishes and that, and pickled onions. And my husband said to me, look, we can't do both. Are you going to keep doing this, or are you going to stay in the cafe and restaurant game? So hence we sold the restaurant and we bought a place in Kyneton, and Emelia's grew from there. And I started with one product, and I'm up to 54 now. And yes, I have got a couple in the pipeline, but I'm getting to the stage of my life now, my darlings, where I think 75, it's time to think about putting up the gold trophies and trying to enjoy some life, and thinking of perhaps smelling the roses, not pushing up bloody daisies.
Australia is a big country, but Emelia was determined to meet all her customers personally. So began 6 years of road trips, introducing her business to people in all corners of the continent, with quite a few adventures and mishaps along the way.
What we'd do, we'd come home, or rather go into Kyneton. We'd do 3 weeks of prep, so we'd have enough stock for the van. Then we'd drive off with the van absolutely chock-a-block. We'd get to, say, Sydney. We'd have contacts all the way up. We'd see all our customers on the way up. Then we would be completely empty. Then we'd pick up another load, which would have been sent pallet load to a railway depot in Sydney. We'd pick that up and then on to the next journey up to Queensland. And from Queensland, we'd go to Mount Isa. And from Mount Isa, we'd go to Darwin. And hence we did that for 5 years to get our products out there. Dani, we broke down 67 Ks out of Julia Creek. Now, I don't know if you know where Julia Creek is, but it's literally nowhere. And an amazing little place, but it's in the outback. and we had no reception. And in those days, the phones were very, very remote. And I remember Ron having to get on top of the van to try and get a signal to get the RACV, or I don't know what they call it out in Julia Creek, but to get someone out to help us because we'd broken down. So there were many a times. There were times when we, blew tyres out and we couldn't get tyres and we had to limp into different towns and that and, have to stay there. And there were days when we were driving around. Mind you, we'd see 6 to 7 people on the one day. And from there, I'd say to Ron, right, where are we staying tonight? He said, well, you better try and book in somewhere. So anyway, lo and behold, I say, right, well, we're on our way to Longreach. So I'll book into Longreach. We'd get to Longreach, no accommodation. 7 o'clock at night, kangaroos everywhere. Us very, very tired because you've been on the road 12 hours. Then on to the next town. And you'd be so pooped. You'd get in the town, you'd be back up at 6 o'clock, back on the road, and head off to the next town. And that's what we really did for 6 years. There were days when you'd want to give in and you'd want to give up, but you knew that you couldn't because it's just not in you. And hence, I think it's made us stronger, both myself and Ron. And we're very proud of what we've achieved and prouder still of the fact that I know all my customers on a personal level, and I've gone through such times with them and they with me when you'd call them and you'd say, how are you, Bob, how are you going? And you'd sort of become intimate with them in conversation where they say, well, look, I'm having an absolutely crap of a week or something, and I'm having a really bad day. And you learn to console people, and you learn about people. You learn that a lot of them are having a very, very hard time, and especially now in this economic climate. And that's why I say we've united with our customer base, where we've been able to create that inner sanctum where people can now start to think about basics, can now go back to the home kitchen and, start to cook the old-fashioned way, when money was remote, where money was so scarce, but we all made it happen, didn't we? Whereas today, it's just so easy to go and spend $50, $60, $70 on Macca's and think you're getting a fine meal. Well, I've got news for you. That's not a fine meal when it costs so much less to create something beautiful at home if you have the right ingredients and the right condiments and the heart for it, the feel for it.
From humble beginnings in a home garage, Emelia's is now run out of a modern factory. Who works there and what part do they play in Emelia's success?
I have a beautiful factory, as I said, in Kyneton. We employ 5 members of beautiful staff and myself and Ron, and we have a very happy environment as far as the workers go. I treat all my staff as if I would like myself to be treated. I'm probably a bit over the top with lovey-dovey and all the rest of it, but that's just me and I can't change. I'm very warm to them and we've got a great business going. We sort of work together. If something has to be got out urgently, we all get in and get it out. And, we make things happen. And, some days we're cooking 5, 6 things at once, and another day we'll be doing a vast array of all our mayonnaise-based products, which are all made from pasteurised free-range eggs, so there's never a chance of salmonella. And, we might do a tartare, a crustacean dressing, aiolis and things like that, and they all go out within a few days. And customers love that because we've got a really big database of seafood outlets. And that works really well for us, And as I say, we're up as far as, the top end of Cooktown, across to Darwin, all the way down to Perth. We're in Broome, we're in Kununurra, we're in, as I said, Longreach, Mount Isa, Tassie, everywhere. And it's been a fruitful journey. it's been a very successful journey.
Emelia has been named Champion Victorian Preserve Producer in the Melbourne Royal Australian Food Awards. What part have shows, medals and awards played in the business's journey?
It has been an important part of the journey. Like most of the products, to have entered, I think I entered 9 exhibits and the whole 9 won medals, which was awesome. And that was a very important part because it gave me the feel to know that we've succeeded, and to be recognised was even more enormous because people came to us and said, I can't believe you've won this many medals. Having entered them, I was reluctant because I thought, oh no, more headaches and I've got to write everything up, I've got to create, and I'll send you and Rob a couple of things I've created, and especially the ones that have won the gold medals. And look, that takes time. You've got to sit down, and I'm trying to run a business in one sense of the word and run after the staff and work out what has to be done tomorrow and work out what has to be dispatched. And at the same time I'm creating. So, it has been a hectic journey.
Straitened economic times mean more home cooking, and that means an interest in jazzing up meals with condiments. Which products does Emelia believe are some of her big winners?
Well, I tell you what, our harissa, everybody that buys it just can't get over the flavour of it. And they ring me and they just say, listen, we don't know what you've done with this, but this is the best harissa we've ever had in the whole of Australia. And I take that as a compliment. Then I created the Taste of Mexico just recently, and the feedback I've got from that was enormous. And that was only sitting down because I am an excellent cook and I make beautiful dumplings. So I made these dumplings and I thought, well, hang on a minute, what are you going to have with them? So I created this sauce, this Taste of Mexico, and it's absolutely something to live for. I'm not going to say die for because it's really nice. So it's to live for. And that's an absolutely beautiful product, along with my French orange dressing, which Rob has also got a hint of Asian and a hint of French. And the flavours, once you've tried them, you can literally taste what I'm talking about. They're awesome. It's essential because it doesn't matter what you add it to, you can enhance the flavour of what you're going to have it with. So if you're having a piece of steak and you use a bit of Emelia's Outback barbecue sauce with it, it just gives you that beautiful finished flavour. And the same, say you're having friends over for a barbecue and you want to have some ribs and wings and, some beautiful American ribs. Well, you use the Sweet Serendipity. And honestly, it's a talking factor. People will say, where did you get it? What is this? And I think if they can say that and enjoy what they're having with it, well, then you're halfway there.
Okay, that secret ingredient. I really want to know. It's time to find out if Emelia is ready to spill the beans.
I'll tell you the truth. Back in the days of old, they all used to use an easy sauce, right? Now, if you know anything about easy sauce, you'll know that it has different products in it that aren't healthy, and some nasties to a degree. So even though old grannies used to make their tomato sauces and relishes with the easy sauce, I thought, no, if I'm going to go totally natural, I'm going to create something that's going to have that effect and have my products up there right on the stand with just the best flavours. And that's when I've created this ingredient, and through hard work. And this particular ingredient, as I said to you earlier in our conversation, is literally in everything I make. And it's awesome. It's awesome. It's natural. You get a flavour that you can't find anywhere else. And I think that's what makes for Emelia's.
Who's going to be the next Emelia? Emelia and Ron are ready to take a step back, but not until they've found a worthy and energised successor.
I think I'm at a stage of my life now where, as I said, it would be nice for Emelia's to go on to someone that would love it as much as what we have. and so that perhaps Ron and I could take a step back and know that it's in very firm hands and going to prosper for their ever after. I look forward to that day. I look forward to that day, Dani, very much, when I can perhaps hand over the reins to someone that may love it as much as what we do.
There's the awards, the sales, the loyal customers, the compliments, not to mention the personal journey. What is Emelia most proud of when she reflects?
I probably am not as proud as what I should be. I don't pat myself on the back probably enough. But yes, when I speak to somebody like you, yes, I'm really proud, because to have come from nowhere, to have been as broke as what we were. I mean, we lost $5 million overnight. And to have to start again, it was the hardest and most bitter pill that I've ever swallowed in my whole life. And to have come to this stage of our lives where we've now created something so extremely good, popular and prosperous, yeah, you're right, we deserve a pat on the back.
Through a combination of tenacity, talent, inspiration and necessity, Emelia Prendergast is happy to consider herself a success. Now 75, she's looking back on a life of hard work and satisfaction. It's been quite a journey, fruitful but also fraught at times. Emelia is happy to look forward to the next stage of smelling the roses. This is The Producers, a Deep in the Weeds production. I'm Dani Valent. Stay tuned as we talk to some of Australia's best farmers, makers and growers. Follow us on Instagram at Producers Podcast or contact us via deepintheweeds.com.au.